actor Ketaki Chitale walked out of the Thane Central Jail after spending over a month in custody. And all this for a social media post. Now Ketaki has got further relief in the remaining 21 FIRs lodged against her for allegedly posting derogatory remarks against Nationalist Congress Party Supremo Sharad Pawar. Now remember, in all there were 22 FIRs against her, mind you, for a single cause of action. Now, the Bombay High Court has ruled that the police should not take any coercive action against her. So relief there for Ketaki, or is it really? Let me take this across to Ketaki herself, who's joining me on the broadcast today. Ketaki, your first thoughts now that you're out of prison.
My first thoughts are quite weird given the circumstances as to what is happening in the past day or two. Because when I was unlawfully taken into custody from my home without any prior notice, without any arrest warrant, without any kind of, a paper even handed over to me to let me know as to what is happening, that was justified. But now, whatever is happening with the Zubair, these zookeepers have come out. I was molested in police custody.
Interestingly that you mentioned Zubair over there, because I wanted to actually put across this very question. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you here. Do you think that kind of outrage that we see in the case of Mohammed Zubair's arrest was completely missing in the case of your arrest? Because here too, we're talking about a social media post. Did you really think that sharing a social media post that allegedly seems to be talking about NCP leader Sharad Pawar can get you arrested?
No, of course not. I didn't think that I would be arrested. Who thinks that? Who thinks that copy-pasting a post would get them arrested and detained for 41 days of their life? Who would think that your 41 days will be just gone like poof? Who thinks that they will lose their job? I don't know whether I'll ever get a job in future. Who thinks that? Nobody does. So obviously not, I didn't think that. But now Zubair thinks so much of support from people like Rahul Gandhi, Shashi Tharoor, Owaisi, Jairam Ramesh, Derek O'Brien, all these, free speech flag bearers. Where were they when I was taken into custody? Where were they when I was getting molested in police custody? Where were they for my free speech? Where was Ravish Kumar? Why Satish Reddy? Arfa Khanum Sherwani, where were they? Where was Mahua Moitra, Rana Ayub, where were they? And now suddenly they think that free speech is extremely important when it comes to Zubair's case and not mine. Isn't this
right?
Isn't this selective deafness, muteness, selective justice? Where were they? Were they deaf?
Right.
Were they living
question
under
about
a
this
rock?
selective outrage. Do you really think that it has become kind of fashionable, Ketaki, to actually go after anything sort of right-wing and really, support anything? Do you think this has become kind of the trend this time around with what we are seeing in the case of Zubair, and if we pit it with your case?
I cannot say that it has become a trend per se, but it seems to be that way, doesn't it? I mean, it makes you wonder. I can't say it's become a trend, but it makes you wonder. Has it become a trend? I want to question all of these people. I want to question these zookeepers. I want to question each and every person. I want to question even the NCP people. What is going on? Like one thing is okay, but the other thing is not. It seems to be, right? I really want to know
Absolutely.
how.
Ketaki, I'd like to actually turn viewers' attention to the day that you walked out of jail. Incidentally, you were wearing saffron. Now, is this an indication of your leanings, or it was just by chance, or is there a larger message here? Because we saw you getting out of prison all smiling, greeting the media who was waiting there. But obviously, a lot also has been said about the way you had come across after your time, the 41 days that you talk about in prison.
I greeted the media with a smile because media has been there with me since day one. They were covering and I hadn't given them a bite at all. And I have been smiling throughout. So smiling, I have been smiling. I'm still smiling. And regarding the saffron color, I cannot help other people interpreting something. I cannot help how they think. They interpreted the post and connected it with Mr. Sharad Pawar. So people can interpret anything with anything. I don't have control over what they think.
Absolutely. But how was your time there? In jail, 41 days. How did you really manage to keep it together while you were inside? Were you able to keep up with your courage?
Yes, I was. Because I knew this was injustice. I knew it was unlawful. I knew I was true. So I knew that truth prevails at the end of the day. It takes time, and I was ready to face it.
Now, the court here has said that proper procedure was not followed when it comes to arresting you. There was, of course, harassment that you just spoke about, multiple FIRs that were lodged, 22 that I said at the beginning while I was introducing you. Now, how in the same case and in the same particular reason a person can be punished through so many FIRs was also the big question here. So the whole debate of an overreach of power has also come into play. How do you now that you're out, react to it? And really, how do you take things? Is it with a pinch of salt, or you're going to take this forward? Is it going to be a long-drawn battle for Ketaki Chitale? What is it going to be?
I'm not going to take it as a pinch of salt. No, I'm not going to take it with a pinch of salt. You cannot file 22 FIRs on the same post in different regions all across Maharashtra. Some of the police stations are in some far interior corners of Maharashtra. That is so unlawful. If there was one complaint, then the rest of them shouldn't have been filed whatsoever. One case was filed at Kalamboli police station on the 15th.
I am sorry, I'll have to just interrupt you here.